All right. Let's hope everything's working right. I don't even know what I got going on, guys. Swear every time. All right. Let's hope everything's working right. I don't even know what I got going on, guys. Sounds working. Swear every time. All right. Let's hope everything's working right. Maybe. All right. I don't know if anybody's out there. Don't look like I got anybody on yet. Just got two waiting. How you doing, Phil? Oh, Phil, come on. You can't be on two still. Bro Portal, I'm not gonna lie to you. I chat with a lot of people. So to refresh my memory a little bit. Like I said, we'll give it a little time. Said show you some of the stuff. I do have a side business. We all do. E2 laser engraving is our business. You can look us up online. This is still my part-time job. Let me know if you guys can hear me too, because I'm playing with the sound, so I don't know if it's coming out. I think it is. Kept hearing myself here, so we had to turn off the audio. I always like the little feedback, so I know what's going on out there, guys. Okay, thank you. So, like I said, always like to get some feedback. Uh, throw some questions out there again. Like I said, we're covering whatever you guys are looking for. I got a few tips and tricks, and again, we can walk through the whole setup, the bang, and the XCS. Like I said, a couple more people probably hop on here. Um, but like I said, it was just kind of a go through stuff, show a few new things. A lot of the new stuff is for the Ultra and the P2S, not necessarily for the other ones. I guess the S1 technically. If you guys haven't seen it, there's a new Tumbler feature, which we'll go over, that makes doing full wraps really easy. So that'll be nice to show you guys that. I know somebody kind of brought it up today in some of the chats. So I'm like, oh, take my thunder, unfortunately. So, but man, knocking them out tonight. Well, you guys, the few people that I have on, I'm sure I'll get some more people hopping in. They always do. They come and go. So I got a few that'll hop on here and there and all that good stuff. Uh, you guys catch me looking. I got cameras and TVs everywhere. So, well, one camera, but so, uh, what? You guys got any questions? I mean, anything in particular you guys are looking for? Like I said, if not, we can I'll hop into XES and make sure things are looking the way we want it to look, and we can go from there. Alrighty. Guess we'll hop in. Yeah. I love doing these lives, but this talking to myself is hard. I'm just trying to like ramble on and all that good stuff. Uh, what lasers do you guys got, Bill? And I think Grow, you're looking for one, right? Or you just got yours? So we will definitely go over the crosshatch for the few people that have the Ultra. Actually, Jacob, you can answer a question for me. Is that crosshatch available on the F1? I don't have my F1 anymore right now. It's on loan, out being borrowed. So somebody asked that question today if the cross hatch was available on the Ultra one. Couldn't verify it. So on the P2S, no, it's not worth worrying about. It's 10 times easier cleaning the mirrors on the P2S than it is on a P2. Phil, we can show you how to back up your settings. So in case it does go out, uh, so you guys are gonna catch me looking down. I should probably put you up here until I go live here. So that way I'm looking at least looking at the screen now. I don't think it is either, Jacob, but I just verify if it could. That'd be a cool. I doubt it, just because it's not going to be a usable feature for the IR laser, but it'd be cool if it was. So you guys ever see Jacob in any of the chats? He's another guy that'll answer all kinds of questions for you. He knows all kinds of stuff. I'm gonna throw him under the bus right now. So, oh man, you're gonna make me go through that too. You're gonna make me remember that one. I don't know what to tell you, Jacob. I know about it. I just can't remember it off the top of my head. So, like, let's hop into XCS here and we'll go through that. All right, let's hop into XCS here. I'll put this back down here so I can see what I'm doing. Share my screen. Share screen 3. Share. All right, guys. XCS 2.3. Again, I know people are always questionable and hesitant of updating stuff. I'm gonna tell you right now. See if it updates here. Make sure you guys can see me. Up in this little corner. Good. Uh, I've come to the conclusion of talking to people and going through this stuff with the XCS. It is better to do the update after update after update, because when you go from an old update to a new update is where I see a lot of people having the issues. It's meant to be updated and updated and updated because then it stays in flow. So it is on the F1. Oh, yes, I got my ears. It's not on the F1. Yes, I got my ears lowered. Thank you for noticing, Jacob. Who we got out here? Four whole people. Sweet. All right. So, again, cleaning the P2S. I mean, like I said, that's the nice thing about the P2S. Very easy. Don't be scared of that one. I know people want to complain about it. I'm just gonna open a couple of them because I actually got all my lasers connected and see if we can mess something up. Because the internet wanted to be a pain in my butt before I started, like making me worry here. So we'll see if everything will connect. Because this is another nice thing. You can open up 6 lasers. I think I got 5 that I'm gonna try to connect here. So see if we can get everything to connect. Shoot. So we got our P2. Thank you for looking that up. Uh, I just realized mine's gonna look a little different than what you get because you get a little bit different screen now. Should actually do that real quick. Well, that's weird. Set that one. But we got P2, P2S, got an Ultra, and the S1 is what we have. So we'll see if we can get this all these so we can kind of just go through. If you guys got any questions on any of them, I can kind of walk through stuff. Um, Again, I like to answer questions if you have questions, and then if not, like I said, I can kind of walk through the guts and stuff. Phil and Michael, are you guys both newbies to the xTool world? Or you had them for a little bit? I think I'm talking to Michael. I think he's pretty new, but Phil. So Phil, what laser do you have, Phil? Talked to a bunch of Phil, so your name looks familiar. You're the one. I'm not sure if I'm the one that helped you or not. So there's my buddy. Yeah. Funny guy. P2. All right. So, yeah, a lot of these things, I mean, going from a 2.0 to even 2.3 or 2.1, any of the other ones, 2.3 is definitely design wise. If you want to design inside XCS, this is where the benefit is. What's up, Blake? Tool, thank you for stopping in. Always a pleasure to have you. You always like to hang out. Ooh, snowy there too, huh? Yeah, we had a little snow here too. So, but just kind of showing, how all the lasers can connect. Just showing people that, I got all of them right now connected. I gotta do the ultra, and I always connect. Now people see they have that little connect on the side. I never connect that way. I'm gonna be honest because I don't use this over here. I always go to the connect device and go to refresh. It just I've never had an issue with it. So, and then there's definitely, I was trying to help a gentleman last night. There's definitely something I'm not gonna say. I mean, again, I'm all for doing the updates. I still think if it's more consistent doing your update. Obviously, do not update if you have a big show going on, you have a big order going out. Don't update yet. But nice. So come on, Blake, you didn't even go through me to get it. Man, looking out for a brother. It's all right. Sorry, guys. But yeah, it's staying up to date. I think is definitely helping firmware updates and like that's that. And I do a lot of help with the beta stuff. So I mean, I'm seeing some stuff early. So and then we don't have problems. And that's where I struggle with trying to figure out why people are having issues. And there's definitely computer issues. Having your computer not up to date is a big thing. Also, if your computer doesn't have the right firmware, it's huge. But knowing that your computer has the right RAM and the right speed, and there's this new S mode that's been biting a lot of people. I noticed uh, which is a weird thing to even have on a computer. So if you ever have a spot where it always wants to show like a Android, like a tablet, it's usually an S mode, especially if it's a laptop. So I see, yeah. So Let's see, do I have your stuff in my links? See, look, I got all your stuff in my links, Blake, and you can't even go through me. I see how you are. So yeah, in my links, guys, go down through and check. I got some of the suppliers that I use. Uh Creative Supply Cuts, Great Lake Supplies, and RZ Acrylics are the three that are really um highly recommended by me. They're fast to get you stuff, next day if you're looking for some pretty cool stuff. Blake's got a lot of cool stuff, which is Great Lake Supply. So not affiliate with none of these guys, just really good friends with all of them. So part of our laser group up here in Michigan. So yeah, if you guys can see right now, we'll go back to XCS now. Uh you can have up to 6 lasers. I think I got one. I got 5. You can have another one. I don't have another one to connect right now, so we'll leave it at that. I do have an F1 also, but that is being loaned out to a fellow person to get play with it, see if he wants to buy it from me. So, but yeah, you can go through and have every laser you want. Another job, and you can run all these at the same time. I can send every single one of these to my laser. I'd run everything off Wi-Fi. I know a lot of people can't, don't. I'm pretty sure you can't run them all off a USB. You can run one off a USB, one off the rest off Wi-Fi, but you can't run all 6 of them off USB. I've not been able to do that. If somebody wants to chime in and let me know, but Tool, I did not do one last month. I kind of skipped out because of Thanksgiving. That's why this one's early, and I don't want to call it early. It's still mid-December, but the holidays kind of screwed me up about and just trying to get stuff done for the holidays. So got one last show and then we're done. And we're just wrapping up Christmas. So all right, back to the XCS. Phil, your question for your settings. You want to save your settings, and this is on every. I know it's on everything 2.0 and later. I don't remember if it's on 1.7. Again, some of the other guys can chime in and let me know. But if you come down to custom parameter settings and then export, it'll save off a file. And obviously make sure you know where you save it. And this you want to import settings. So all the ones you do, uh, just throw something over here. Your user defined settings. It'll save all these. Uh, that was the one thing. I'll bring that up, Jacob. Now I remember what you're talking about. You can actually do now in the new update. There is this actually jumps on. You can actually go to manage settings and you can actually go through and do a cloud base, which is limited, and actually set them up, save them off also cloud, make them named. This way you can have them in the same spot, save them on a hard drive. So this is definitely very beneficial also because you can actually assign them. You can actually assign them to a device. So this feature here is actually really handy. It is they populate with some extra stuff. Like I don't have a D Pro, so it's just kind of giving me everything. But hey, this is only for this laser, so don't fill my thing up anymore. Which is a nice feature. And obviously you can see I have not, so I really should. But man, I'm telling you, this last 2 weeks has been hectic as heck. Let's see, this latest update. Tool, you're gonna have to refresh me. What laser do you have? Just curious. Photos are man. Oh, internet. Hopefully you guys are back here too. And that went down a long time ago. I mean, so I don't know what's going on here. I'll tell you, I updated my Zoom. I probably shouldn't have. All right, guys. I have no idea if I'm working. Okay, I think I'm back. I'm a little delayed, so I shouldn't be doing it, but I'm watching the video. I probably shouldn't be. Should probably go the other way. Quit watching this one and just go this route. Yeah, I don't know what my internet. It's supposed to be super fast, and I'm keep getting this laggy stuff. So I'm gonna try to catch up on some of your guys' talk. Thank you, Jacob, for kind of filling in there for me. But all right, guys. Back we were saying, uh, like I said, just trying to catch up on stuff. Jacob, that's dang. Oh, you're killing me. All right. So again, kind of issues you have in Blake. That's what I mean. I've not had issues with my upgrades. I'm not gonna lie. Should probably do this because I don't know what you guys are seeing. I don't know what screen I'm on because I'm probably not sharing no more, right? You guys are seeing my mug. Are you seeing anything? Not seeing anything, so probably not streaming. My streaming guys, I can't tell. I'm not gonna lie. Gotta love up. I love doing lives. They're fun because my studio says I'm not streaming, so that's why I didn't know if I was streaming. But it looks like I am. So all right, we're back. Sorry. All right. Yeah, I upgraded and I've had issues since I've upgraded, and it's kind of been really taking me out. It only happens when I go to do lives, so I don't get it. So speed super fast, all that good stuff, but it's bugging the little hell out of me. So, all right, let me go back to sharing so you guys can see the screen. Let's go back through this stuff. Uh, seems like P2 seems to be the kind of the new norm. You guys want me? I am definitely gonna show some stuff in the new one here. I guess while we're at the Ultra. What else is preparing live stream? Freaking lose it again. Yeah, I'm about ready to log into my phone, guys, because the problem is I lose all my lasers when I do that, and I can't show stuff on the laser settings. That's what I was trying not to do. So, trying to see if I lost it or not. It says it's sharing, it says it's preparing. Let me know if you can still see me or not. I don't know how delayed I am. You can see the software. All right, it just says preparing live stream on my screen, so I don't know, and my other one disappeared on me, so I'm not sure what's going on. All right, guys. Sorry. So, for the Ultra, F1 and the Ultra, I mean, this is from 2.0 down. You know, everybody was complaining speed and all that stuff, and I know I've said it on some other ones. They did bring it back finally for the Ultra. Uh, this feature here, the 3 dots by processing, very popular. Very to me, I don't know why they don't default this. It bugs me that they don't default it. So, see, it's weird. I'm still watching the live, and it's not showing the screen. Can you see my software? See, no, this got froze. Ugh, this is bugging me. All right, that's my problem. I'm behind. So, yes, Ultra. Sorry, guys. I guess this is why I don't ever watch the live usually. But at least now I know where I'm at. So, auto planning, usually defined, smart is back on the highly recommended. Makes things, you cut your times in half 95% of the time. It's 10 times faster. It still does a great job. I love it. Highly recommend it. Again, I wish they would put it in the settings where I could turn it on and leave it on. Because every time you open a screen, a canvas, you have to go back and turn this on, which is annoying, but it is highly recommended. So what this does is instead of doing it like a printer, it gets rid of all the white space and only prints what you want to engrave. So that is why this feature is highly recommended on the Ultra and the F1. Both F1s right now. If you're in the 2.3.4, because then 2.2 it's not in there. So this just came out in this new update. So all these things are going to be on 2.3. So if you want these nice new fancy features, you gotta have to upgrade. So again, it cuts your time in half is what this does. It's the easiest thing to say. I think it puts a lot, you can actually turn your power down sometimes too, even with this feature when you're engraving, because it focuses the beam in a smaller area and it's not having to go, I don't know. It just, we did some playing with some burning some wood on the F1 and it works that way. So nope, this feature is not applicable on the P2S. There is another feature though I'm going to talk to you about on that one. That it does help speed some stuff up. So this is again F1 series. You know it when you don't turn it on, but definitely check it out. There's something in settings in this one. I just want to double check. I don't have my accessory on. If anybody has the new purifier, I do like it. I love it. It works very good. I highly recommend it over the old one. So it's another thing I do recommend on the brightness thing too for this is don't turn it up too high. This one here, see if I actually do this. I usually leave it 50 to 30 is where I leave this. So, and it just helps see pictures because if not, I wash out stuff. So, um, another thing, again, I don't know if this is on everybody's laser, but I'm gonna see to show you when if you click the camera, it's dark the first time. If you click it the second time, and again, other people that have the Ultra, let me know if you have the same issue. Maybe it's just mine, but my first camera view is always dark. If I hit it again, it's like it takes a picture, and I have the infamous engrave your bed marks all over mine. So it happens. It means it's mine. So, but it's gonna prove me wrong. Hmm. Interesting. I love it when it proves me wrong. I do have a light off over that I normally have on, so I'm wondering if that has something to do with it though. Just because it shows up on the camera. So I do have it pretty dark over there. So it definitely could be an issue. Let's see what else we got down here. Sorry, guys. So the IF2S, it is useful. I do have one. I don't know if you guys can see it up there. I do like it. I have 3 lasers connected to it. I do have to turn my P2S down quite a ways or it back blows. Unfortunately, like 30% on the fan on the P2S. So I don't know if it keeps it cleaner. It definitely helps remove the smoke. So, but it definitely for that little guy, it packs a punch, man. It can suck all kinds of stuff out. So highly recommended on that one. But again, don't use. So the one issue I did notice, if you are using that with auto, like on the P2S, it actually turns off the fan. And again, Jacob, I don't know why the P2S it turned my fan off, so I can't use it when I use manual. It funny guy. So again, I only played with it once. I didn't really because I only had the one, and I got to turn on manual anyways. I didn't really play with it too much, but I didn't notice that. I know again some people I've talked to online, they've had issues with their fan not turning on. Well, the fan gets bypassed if you have, I think, one of these. So just something to note you want to look at in the settings and stuff like that. So, but again, I love that thing. I love my the AP2 Pro AP2 air filter for my Ultra. That's what's my Ultra's on that all the time. So, but so yeah, again, guys, I please if any kind of questions you got in there. Going back to tools for the P2 or Grow Portal. So if you go to the P2S, I'll go to that. Oh, that's nice. There it is. So P2S, I got my conveyor, and obviously I love my conveyor. So my P2S usually has my conveyor stuff in it. My other one doesn't. I just leave that one. Doesn't have a riser. So, but P2S, especially if you're using a conveyor or something that is engraved heavy, I do recommend this new setting under device, which is right here. And again, make sure you have a table that's nice and sturdy. The higher X-axis acceleration, again, why this is not just on, I think, is it does make your machine shuck. So if you're doing something that's real close, it'll go faster back and forth. I think this is actually on the P2. Let's look and see if it's on the P2 also. I think you can do it on the P2 and the S1. That is available on the new update. I don't want Frankie. This one. Again, these are the little things. Like I said, they kind of, I don't want to say they hide them a little bit, but these settings are, and it took me a minute. I was reading through some stuff. I'm like, hey, I knew it was supposed to go faster. So, no, I don't. It's weird because it's not on. So it's not on the P2, but it is. I know it's on the P2 or the S1 and the P2S. Prove myself wrong. Let's double check. Yeah, acceleration. So the S1 has it, and so does the P2S. And it just makes your engraves a little bit faster. It doesn't jump it up like crazy amounts, but I mean it'll knock off 10 minutes off of a 5-10 minutes off sometimes, depending on what you're doing. So uh so while we're on this one, new feature for man, did I freeze again? I swear. Yeah, I think we all got that screen printer. I mean, it's screen printer is what it is. I'm not gonna slam it. I used it once. It wasn't for me. I don't want to dive into something else. That's kind of where I'm at with that one. It's definitely something that's, if you have time to play with it, it's definitely probably usable. So, one of the other new updates, again, this is across the entire board, I think, on all the lasers. Uh, if you have, let's see, let's open up. I got some of these. So, we're gonna do this one because I like it. So tumblers, if you really want to do that, if you're really big into doing these full die, and I'm guessing on these numbers, I'm just filling some stuff in just so I can give you guys a dimension here. So bear with me. Just give me a number. And then again, I'm making private perimeters and stuff. That's my preference. So it's not even the image. That's not gonna work. That's not the right thing. Well, shoot. I'm curious what it's gonna do. This is actually a JPEG, so now I'm curious on what's gonna show up. So this little icon up here, I'm not sure if it's gonna work because, like I said, this is a JPEG. So what it does, it actually gives you a representation of what your image is gonna look like on a tumbler. Obviously, it's gonna kind of base it off your diameter. I haven't come across how to figure out to do it the get the cup. I know there was a time that they talked about being able to adjust the cup, but that might be only in the P2S. Again, I haven't played with all of them. I used it more on the S1. So, but just to have this feature that tells me, hey, I'm going all around the cup, you know, it's very handy. That's it. You know, I think I know this. It is very awesome. It's like I said, it's cool because you can go in there and play stuff and see where it's at and not know that it's overlapping. And you can actually put it on that seam and be able to avoid stuff. So it's definitely makes doing those full wraps a lot easier. And like this Yeti, you can see where, and this is where I like the S1. There is another new feature in the P2S where I can go and actually move the laser now, like you used to be able to. So it's just, again, it's very handy. Again, this is just a JPEG. I drew it, sent it to the customer, and then shut the file off, and then did something stupid. So and it happens. We all make mistakes. So that one. I'm not sure what your question is there, Mike. Is it Mike or Michelle? I gotta be careful when I do that. Yeah, Michael. Oh, what are my things doing here? Uline P2. I I know they tell you not to use your close-up camera to do. So the only thing I use the close-up camera for is to get my distance off the end of the cup when you're doing the P2. Like I said, so now you can actually go in there. Let's go P2, P2S. It's not on the P2. So the P2 doesn't have this ability. So, like I said, some of the things you lose on the between the P2, if people want to know the difference between the P2 and the P2S, I can only turn my engrave down to 30 and my cuts at 100. I can't change those. Uh, and you just look at the optical test, and I can't move the laser. You used to be able to do it with optical test. You can't do it with optical test. But in the P2S, I can actually go in here and I can change this down to 10, I think is the lowest I can go. 5. Yeah. So I can go to 10% now on my air pump flow. And then even on your lowest output for power, you have an engrave and a cut. You can actually, only going to go so low. So those are some of the features, the differences between the P2 and the P2S that are nice. And then you can actually move the laser module. So I can go in here and use it like we kind of used to be able to do. And then now you can actually put it and say, hey, I'm going to kind of clear it. It doesn't look like it's going to give me Z though. The only thing. So never actually played with this, so not sure what it's gonna do. Oh, come on, guys. You gotta make it so I can move the thing. I have not, Steve. I mean, the targets, it was a thing that people wanted. I don't see a point in it. I can locate stuff with the crosshairs and be just as accurate as wasting my time taking a photo and going back and doing the targets and doing a photo. And I can play stuff almost faster with the crosshairs than I can with a camera. Even on my P2s, I can place it way faster on the S1. That's why, like I said, I do most of my cups on my S1, just because I can do stuff faster than trying to mess around with the targets and stuff. I can honestly say I have not used the targets, but uh, stuff like that. So, but yeah, it's one of those things. People that are new, like I said, we're gonna go through some of the tips and tricks that, you know, uh, one of the things that I like to do, people always ask, hey, if you get something that doesn't want to engrave, it only engraves, I should say. It only engraves. Someday I might get this organized. I actually have this stuff ready. What? Guys, I talk to myself a lot. Because again, I'm talking to myself constantly, so I use equations when doing the testing. The targets, Jacob, is that what you're talking about? Oh, sorry, guys. It's the problem with like going back and reading and all that stuff. Again, guys, throw some questions out there if you got something you want to look at. Like I said, I'm gonna show you some Trace. Again, Trace has been another one that's been biting a lot of people, it seems like. And then I'm gonna show you the old school Trace, which I still use, man. It's a handy feature. Just trying to see if it works. I know I have a bunch of not farm animals. These nice farm animals. These cute little guys. You know, so obviously this is a PNG file. It only lets me engrave. Whenever you get that, that's why it's a PNG. I mean, it could be a JPEG file. This is why you get this feature only. And then obviously if I'm this is the other nice feature in this, if I want to take this one and put it on my F1 Ultra, I can move it over here and I just paste it. And now it's there also. So you can go from screen to screen. That was something that you couldn't do before on some of the older ones. Again, people are way back a ways, but now CPNG, this is where you get dot duration, power range, DPI, that kind of stuff. If anybody has questions about dot duration, it's backwards. It's your speed, but it's backwards. The lower the number, the faster it goes. The higher the number, the slower it goes. So it's one of those ones I know a lot of people see that they get scared. And it's another trial and error. It is harder to do a test on this kind of stuff because it doesn't. I don't listen. I'm just curious now. What does it tell me? You can kind of do a dot duration example. So it does dot duration. So you can do speeds and powers. I was curious what was going to pop up. I can honestly say I've not done one. Not for this. So all right, let's see what we got. We go back and sorry guys, I'm gonna go back and read your stuff. Just because it's the end of the year, Jacob. That's the only reason why. All right, so flipping between a refresh screen and a regular screen on the P2 or the P2S, the P2. I know they kind of messed it up by putting this little drop down. I did kind of annoying. So it stays the last thing you use. So if it's a refresh, it stays where it's at. You know, if I click it. I don't have to hover over it. But in close up, it's gonna go and zoom out. But then it stays the close up. So then you gotta hover back over it and wait for it to do what it's doing and go back to refresh. So what kind of images are you looking for, Steve? Because again, you can do so there is an array, and I actually been playing with that one a little bit. So so let me make sure I'm not missing somebody else's question. We were gonna hop on and I got sidetracked. Because it happens. It definitely happens. That one. Cow. Oh, I was gonna show you this real quick. Let me show you this the trace thing real quick. Again, this is why like PNGs, especially these black outline ones, are really nice. They're clean, they're crisp. Trace 95% of the time they actually come in and they trace really nice, really easy. Trace them all out. Again, you can adjust it if you want to find something. I should probably do one that has a little more craziness to it. Just threshold. And then sometimes like when you're doing words, yeah. But and then I know some people had some questions about layers. You'll get some that have different layers, which is nice because these little ones that like kind of hang out in space and you don't really need. Uh, they'll stand on a different layer, and you can actually just take that layer and delete it. So now I have a engravable, scoreable copy of this, the same cow, and I can actually go through here. And now I can edit this whole thing. This is another nice thing about you know the newer updates. Again, this is from 2.0, 2.1 on. So is being able to do these, edits where I can go in here and edit individual. If I want to get rid of these kneecaps, I don't want them on there. Delete them out of there. I think I went in here and deleted the other of this one before. This one again. So if you go in here and you double click, it gives you node editing. And this is where people get kind of caught up with this node editing stuff too, because not everything needs to be node edited. Some of the stuff you can just cut. Don't be scared to use it, your pen tool, to just a knife and cut stuff out. But like this stuff, I'm just removing this other, just kind of making it look. Another thing, if you double click these, they turn to a radius. This is where, like I said, it's a super handy tool. It doesn't have an udder, stuff like that. It's just, this is why, like I said, I definitely prefer this. Now, again, this is still a bunch of separate stuff. To highlight it, make it complete. Now it's one. It's in sense it's united, but it's different. So I gotta be careful how I say that it's united. So spline curves. Unfortunately, XCS doesn't do splines yet. But you can curve text. You can go minusculely. And I've done some skew because I know somebody asked about skewing text. But again, when you got to do that kind of stuff, unfortunately, it's more of a letter out. It's you have to do it letter by letter, you know, because then you can go in here and break it up, you know, do this one here. You can spell hello. Then you got some more flow in my stuff, but that's not a oh. But this is where you can go in here and you can kind of play with the unlock your letters. And I've done those with a couple other. I just locked it. That lock, I tell you, you can play with your skewness of the letters, and then you turn them, and it skews it even different. So there is ways to play with the letters, but to do it right off the bat, again, you can do it. Um, you can do the arc. That was what you're looking for, but yeah, did they actually do a skew where it's completely different? And then I know this was brought up to another gentleman, and he does make a good valid point, is their arc is not always even. So if you look, the H is touching and the O is not. And I've had some other letters that have been obviously not right either. So it's something to pay attention to if you're very picky about that. So you might have to do some rotating a little bit and then to get yourself on a line, just to let you know. It was definitely something that was brought up, and I'm like, no, it doesn't matter. And it was almost a 2-degree difference, so it was definitely noticeable. So, but yeah, you can do this. I mean, you can play with that. I mean, you can play with the span setting, so that makes a difference too. So obviously, the farther around you go, they get farther apart, so you can go in here and just kind of bring them back together a little bit. So there's all kinds of features to get inside and outside and stuff like that. It does, but even like this, you would think this kind of font, it wouldn't cause that type of offset like that because it's fairly blocky and uniform. I get it with some of the cursive ones, but I don't get why the blocky ones are doing it too. It doesn't make sense. So I would recommend an SVG file would be the best to bring in. But I think when you export out, again, I'm not an Illustrator guy or a Photoshop guy, but I think you got to flatten it though before you bring it out. If somebody else wants to chime in and verify that, I think you got to flatten it, or that there's another term when you bring it out. So, but um, so back to the little cow guy. Oh, he's in this one. Yeah. So, okay. But no, I'm big on these the note editing. Uh, Even with that note editing, I know people have noticed that there's actually extra features up here. So that's where I do a lot of like scoring. If you want to score stuff, you only want half lines on something. Uh, I know somebody asked about doing an image, so they wanted a circle with just half a circle. Uh, that would be, again, I'm big on using a pen tool. I know a lot of people don't like using it, but it gives me what I want. So for something like this, if you just want half circle, this is where you can come in here and just delete that. And now it's going to only score. I would only score this. I wouldn't cut it. I would never do a single line like this, but she wanted it for a reason. She had an image she wanted to put inside of it, but that's kind of one of the ways to do it. That was one of the things we talked about. So that's what I use the score tool and that scissor tool. More if there's something on like ornaments, if you want something to hang over an edge, or you want to have that depth kind of look where it looks like something's on top of something. and you can still fill in, or like words, you know, when you want to fill in, you use that option of overlapping to edit that stuff and just draw the score on, and now I have to do the whole thing and do another whole word, or you know, in that sense. The scissor again. So that's just a scissor tool, is all that is. And again, it's a funky tool because it only does it between points, is what it does. So again, like I said, I use it for more ornament kind of style. Like if I was doing even this, and I'll show you about this, but you know, I like using the pen tool. You can use whatever you want. It's gonna make a straight line, whatever you do. If you want a curve, you can put a curve on something. This is where you can add curves and stuff. If you want to curve something out, you know, that's why I like using the pen tool and not using the squares and the circles and all that stuff. But you know, just select them both, subtract it. That gives me that flat. But then if I only want it, I want it to be open. And again, this is where, even if I do this though, I'm gonna show you though. If I add to this node, and it only deletes between points. So if I wanted to say delete that one, it's going to delete between point to point. So it doesn't matter which side you do it on. But if I still go back here and I engrave this, it's still going to fill it in. So that's where you got to be careful though, because that's kind of what she wanted, but not what she wanted. That's where, like I said, it's, you know, and then there's other options. So if you want to do it where you only want to do it, another trick, again, I don't know if people know about this, single lines, you outline them, fills them in. So this is another one of those weird tricks that I don't think about showing people until it's like, oh yeah, it makes sense. So now it's you know, we sit there and tell people to do all outlines and cuts and all that stuff, and really all I gotta do is make a circle and outline it. So, gosh darn chair, I'm falling. But oh, I really need a new chair for Christmas. I'm telling you, I feel like I'm slowly sinking, guys. What else we got? What was I gonna show? Phil had a question. What was Phil's question? No, Michael had a question. Export this. That's me a question. So, but I've done like stick guys with this, you know, make little stick characters. I've done that with using the outline feature. Uh, so so the other thing too, what I like about this is, you know, if you got something on this cow, say, hey, I want to move, I don't know, I want to move his tail. You can go in here and just do edit. You know, this one I gotta do it. I gotta be careful how I'm saying that. Do this first, release. So when I release it, it brings it back to everything's separate. So now everything's broken up when you release it. This is kind of the Lightburn's version of ungrouping, was what they always say. So now if you want to go in here, see, I wanted to keep it that way. Let me do what I wanted to do. I'll make a hole again. But I mean, you can grab a whole herd of dots at once. Say I want to move this tail a little bit. I mean, you can. Oh, too much of his butt. Again, just hold shift, deselect. I'll deselect stuff, you know. Start grabbing just a certain. I deselected too many. But you can do a lot of different things with this. Uh, there is ways to do, you know, different. But yeah, you can do some cool stuff just by grabbing some stuff and moving around. In this case, I'd probably just kind of move it where I want it to. Select it. And move it where I want it. I don't know if I can rotate it though. I don't think I can. Which kind of sucks. But you just go in here and edit these. Just let you know, there's like I said, there's a lot of stuff you can go in there and clean up and just edit stuff. You know, get a broken tail now. But again, in this sense, what I wouldn't do the node edit. I would actually come in here and with again the pen tool, I would just cut this out. Place it, rotate it, say I want it up here. Again, go back, use the pen tool. And all I'm doing is just got to be inside these things again, because this is where the node edit comes into play, and it's super handy because all I got to do is get these things close. No, it looks terrible, but I don't want to use that command. This is where you gotta be careful. You don't want to use the make complete because it's different. It actually, I think, will subtract. And don't use subtract either. Union. Again, I know it looks bad, but this is where, again, you can go in here, edit these nodes, and just deleting some of them makes things make more sense sometimes. But which part, Jacob? I mean, like I said, it's I could note edit it a little bit by a little bit, but like I said, sometimes I feel like that's where people just sit there and go down this node editing rabbit hole, and you really don't need to. I'm saying you just got to get something close, and again, it's preference. I know some people are going to do it one way, and other people are going to do it a different way. So it's just options. There's 10 different ways to do everything we all do. So, you know, just showing that it's doable. Not going to make it longer or whatever. And then I go back in here and I just now I make it complete, engrave. So now it's out and about. Again, not fancy, but all right, Steve, what do you got? Something I find annoying about the text tool. One of the things that like say this is that it doesn't default to the last font used. Yes, I'm gonna say yes. I agree with you on that. It is annoying. It always goes to it always goes in this one. At least mine does. I know some people said I've seen other people say it defaults to something else for them, but mine's always the Lado. I don't know if somebody else. There is a benefit. Again, I do a lot of stuff at shows with my Ultra. I have a list of the names. If you go up to the search here and you just type in Harrington, it'll go to Harrington and you can type that one in. I don't know if that's something that people knew about. It is, it isn't. Uh, so, oh, we're at 10:30, man. I'm not gonna waste a bunch of time today. Hopefully that again, the default, there's a few things that you just can't default out, which sucks. Uh, again, I don't know if people know the difference. A few shortcuts, the ones that are common that people I like to use, Control K. I don't switch my inches to millimeters very often, very, very rarely. But Control K is a popular one. If you want to just go back and forth between inches and millimeters. Um, and then Control R is another one that I use a lot actually because it does do auto snap. So blue line, blue line. Theoretically, that's center. It's center of the box, so not really center of the cow. So you guys got to be careful of that too. So like this cow is obviously gonna be different than this cow. So I go center with this one. Obviously smaller, but so then you can find out that center of the screen, that is center of the other cow. So just pay attention to the blue lines. So those are for. So when you release the vector size, you can create an issue with a lot of high definition vectors. It depends on how you do it, Jacob. I've not had too many. Again, I'm doing simple PNG files. Again, you start getting some elaborate stuff, it'll go crazy. Yes. Trust me, I wish they would fix that too, Steve. That's another one. That you're talking like these icons here. You import these. So yeah, if any of these come in, it always gets put right at the top. I don't know why. That used to be where the text always got put also. So why they put the text at your cursor and not everything else? Maybe that's something we'll ask them about. I know that that one gets you sometimes, especially if you're zoomed out somewhere else. You're like, where did it? Why isn't it coming out? I agree on that one. But again, another one I use too. Which color I have here. So another thing I use a lot of, and again, this is probably a bad example on this cow because I wouldn't really probably do it on him, but let's do it on. You know, I'm gonna do the one thing that somebody was asking about earlier. I got like 3 different things I can do. CFL, but I know someone was asking about the masking. I kind of want to go over that real quick on a photo. Let's find the photo. Some weird photos. Let's do this one. Oh. Some of my coasters for sale this weekend. I know. Self-employment. Uh, they had this when they had a name. It was a child's name, is what it was. They wanted it on there, so they had text. They had it here, but it was over top of the photo, and they didn't want it over top of the photo. It was like, Control H flips text, just to let you know. Uh, so say you got this, you want to grade this picture, but you don't want it where the H is at. Here, I'm going to circle too. This don't have to be circled. You guys know if you have a picture inside there. Again, obviously this is a regular picture, but any JPEG file, PNG file, I want to say PNG, not JPEG, PNG file. If you bring it in and you hit outline, it's going to outline and you set it to 0. It's going to outline it. You still can outline photos, so and stuff like that. So, in this case, the person just didn't want the photo being engraved over the name. So what I would do here is, again, I'm going to take Henry because I don't need another copy of it, so I can still engrave it, but I want to erase the photo so it's not in it. So what I would do, again, I'm big on this copy, man. I'm telling you, it's definitely, again. So what I just did is create a copy of that of Henry. What I do is I throw it to another layer right off the bat. So go to layers, you can see I have, yeah. So I have this Henry, I have this Henry. So for right now, I'm gonna hide this one. But what you do is you just take it, and you got to put this box to do this feature. Again, shape of your person, whatever you're doing. Just subtract. You see that darn thing? I did it backwards. This is why I don't like subtract. This one, and I want this one. Why is it got to be difficult? This is why order of operation matters, guys. We're gonna hide the image too, just because it's messing with me right now. This is why I do stuff in engrave, so you can see what's. So this is why this is not cutting through, because I want Henry to cut through this box, and it needs to be on top. So that's why I did this, so I could see where the layers are at. Engrave helps you just see where the depth is on stuff and why things aren't usually working. I do it. Again, I know some other people in here don't, but it's definitely beneficial. So yeah, if you want to do a photo and just outline it to do like a keychain, that's another feature that's, again, people don't understand that they can do that. So all right, so I'm gonna move this the front. Again, it's black, you're not gonna see it. All right. So again, all I want to do is subtract that through because I want to erase that. So now the photo won't be there. I do still need the score because what you do is bring your photo back. Because all you can do when you mask something, it has to be a single SVG file. You want to call it vector file only. So I have to take that. So now I can take that photo and that, and you'll get the create mask. You hit create mask. It tells you where the mask is going to do it. And really, I'm only masking that H and E there. So now it won't photo there. And now we can go back, turn this on, engrave. So now the photo will still engrave where it needs to engrave, but not engrave over the Henry. So, and that's how you do kind of stuff like, again, and masking is a finicky thing. And sometimes you can just, you want to mask because the mask is a little bit backwards and you can't put more than one mask on at a time either. So that's where you got to be careful, and it only can be one at a time. If you want to just go in here and do a circle and mask this, it works the other way. And still back there. And that's where, like I said, it wouldn't let me do it because the other one was back there, so it won't bring up the mask. So, and then I can move this around in here. Say I'm gonna mask that. Done. I do this when I do a lot of photos for live edge stuff. If I kind of follow the edge with the live edge, and then you can get it to mimic the whole thing. So I do not. I do not use outside. I mean, 95% of the time I don't anymore. I used to be a big advocate for Imager, but XCS I can get the files to be. I mean, if you have a good file, a good photo, and just bring it right into XCS, I can get it to show up pretty well right through XCS. Just because you have the ability to go through here and do I can adjust stuff. I mean, this is where you can get your sharpness. I mean, I always recommend to go looking around 15. Again, be careful. These don't do a lot, a little bit. If you have one that's too dark, too light, that's where the grayscale kind of pulls down. And again, this is only for a grayscale photo. If you change it to Jarvis, this kind of goes away. So obviously you can see it lightens it. It's a dark photo. But again, also don't take let's see if this thing goes to process. Let's see it. What's it telling me? Can't see it. It says live stream on my screen, so I don't know what it's telling me on the top there. Empty. I don't know a distance. I need a distance. So, this is actually fairly light, so it's not bad, but grayscale won't do that. That's where I gotta be careful. Grayscale will show pretty much what you have on your screen. You change this to like Jarvis, it'll look like it's terrible when you go to process. Don't let this stuff scare you guys. I mean, I tell you right now, a lot of photos I've been running lately, especially on my S1, I've been running them at like 90 lines per centimeter. Because when you start running, it's not a better quality photo when you start putting more lines per centimeter. I mean, half the time you actually got to bump it the other way. It's because you want to create that contrast when you have too many lines, like this, because it's the dots. When you get them too close together, you know, they start making things look bad. So when you take those lines per centimeter and spread them out, it spreads that out and doesn't create, again, it's that happiness of power and speed and lines per centimeter. So So yeah, if it's, obviously if I'm sitting back here, we're like, oh, it's super dark, it's gonna look terrible, but it really isn't. So don't be don't be shy to play with that. So what kind of lines do you want to talk about? I try to wrap this up in about 15 minutes, but yeah, for me, Steve. So no, you're not. Uh Engraving, you're removing stuff. Again, higher count, more closer lines, you're gonna clean up stuff. But doing a photo, it's the opposite. I mean, that's what I've done like I said, in the last couple times. I never do my photos over 120. I've done a couple photos lately in the 90s, like I said, 80s and 90s. They've actually turned out way better than doing in the 120s. And again, it goes how you process the photo and how your photo is and your quality of your photo. So there's a lot of stuff that's in there. Again, if you have a bad quality photo, that is where I would recommend going to like Imager. Topaz is another one that I've used. It is a paid one though, but it'll enhance your photos and clean them up if they're really blurry. So if you have a customer that's giving you this and that's all they have, those are the two that I really recommend. So um again, this is another feature that guys you utilize this too. And we don't talk about this kind of stuff. The fact that they made this where you can just go in here and pick that one icon, even though it's under a layer, it'll you can adjust certain things. So yeah, I bring my photos in right now. It's definitely way better than it used to be. Just the fact that you can do that adjustment with this now or this stuff. Because even if you got a photo that you bring in, and then I'm doing one right now for a customer that they wanted the font, dad's handwritten stuff. So when you bring that kind of stuff in, sometimes it's not great. It doesn't like the trace so well. If you come in and you change the filter to like a sketch or something and make it more black and white, it's easier to trace. So those are some other tips and tricks that that kind of stuff. Get the white out of there, try to make it more contrast, and then trace it, and it'll come out a lot better. So, and then you can actually go back in. I'm actually working on one on another computer over here. If it's not exactly the way you want it, you can go back and do the note editing, clean it up, make it look like the signature, and then the customer's a lot more happy. So, um, but uh, well, let's see what else do we got. Good to hear about the glass ornament. I haven't even put a photo on a glass ornament. I've stayed away from the glass ornament, guys. I'm not even, I don't want nothing to do with that trend. I hated them when I was a kid and I don't want them around my house. The two that I tried working on here, I dropped them. I'm done. I want to mess with them. I don't want to try to take them to shows. Don't want nothing to do with them. Not one bit. Uh, I, Anybody that runs P2S, P2s, tabs, anybody run tabs on stuff? I highly, yeah, because I'm doing a bunch of cutting boards right now, and it definitely is going to help out with that kind of stuff. You can go in there, edit, and do the ed node editing. So then you don't have to be so finicky and trying to get the trace to be exact. Just get close, and then you can go back and tweak it with the node editing. So, but in the P2 or P2S, even S1 will do this. Is people don't know with the cutting. So the tab generation, I've come to the conclusion I do a lot of layered maps. So like these, but bigger. Obviously, I don't do this one with this because I have a honeycomb. I just let it sit on that. But tab by number is the way to go. I would recommend to never do by spacing because it just is weird. It just never turns out right. And then normally I run on an 1/8 inch board, I run 13% is what I do. So I usually try to say to get, every side flat. I'd recommend two. So right now this would put 2 flats on this feature. So you're gonna be a feature. That's something that's gonna put on there. So 4 to 6 is recommended. And they usually stay in pretty well. And every once in a while you have one that doesn't, but I do, again, especially if you're using the conveyor, or even the slats, it's handy to have that one thing if you're doing some really small pieces. Throw a tab on there and it won't fall through and screw your work up, or a couple tabs. So I do recommend them. I know some people don't. Sometimes my wife don't like them on her stuff, but she'll live. So that was one that's highly recommended. Let's see if there was anything in the P2. I don't think there is. So that's all. Same. Yeah, exactly. And that is what they are. They're like a support. There's just a little tab that just helps things not fall through. When you're using the conveyor, you got to have that material on the outside, inside, so things still row freely. I mean, I think I'm gonna do a video on the conveyor because I've been doing learned a lot of things with that too. So might do maybe a live actually, but we'll just do a how to use the conveyor efficiently, I think. So, but if anybody's got anything else, anything they want to know about, I can go through it with you real quick. Kind of throw it up there, but I know I didn't do my normal run through. If you guys want me to run through, kind of settings and all that stuff and what's what, where's something, throw it out there. If some of the new people that hopped on, I'm gonna tell you right now, if you have a multiple lasers, which you don't, even if you have, you can have these all open and all be at the same laser. Just let you know. Obviously, you can't send another one while it's going, common sense, but you can still be working on other files while the other one's burning. So if I have one burning, what happens is it's in this processing screen. So this tab right here is where the laser, if you go away from it and come back, this is where it will be, and you can click on it, go back into it, and get out of the processing screen. I know another thing that people ask about is man, my brain is blank. And no, there's no way to turn these off. Oh, look, there, I got a new beta testing coming out. So if you guys want to join a beta test, there you go. This is where they put it, so you guys know. Go and sign up and be one of the new beta testers. Just an FYI. So not a problem. Like I said, we try to do these monthly. I might try to do maybe a little bit more, maybe focus more on one laser at a time. So we'll see. I'm gonna try to do a lot more videos. So if you want to like and share my page, that'd be awesome. Help me out. Just trying to grow my stuff. Yeah. You don't count. I love you though, Jacob. You're a good guy. Yeah, if anybody's got questions, go find him in the Facebook groups. He will help you out too. I learned some stuff from Jacob, so most of my stuff I've learned from Jacob. But oh, I think you're saying nope to this, aren't you? I get you. You will. Don't give me that. Yes, you too. I'm ready for a break. We're gonna, like I said, wrap up one more holiday show, and I got like 4 orders I gotta finish, and I'm done. Yes, yeah, I got you after the fact. So, all right, I'm wrapping up. I'm sending it out. I don't have no fancy outro or nothing like that. So, guys, thank you for hopping on and letting me do this kind of stuff. I do consulting. I know you've asked a couple times. Look me up. Go to my website. The down in the bottom down there, you can there's a link. You can actually sign up for training. It should be available. If not, let me know. If you want to do some consulting, Again, if not, just hit me up on Facebook. Like that also too. Find me, message me. A lot of people hit me up that way. So I'm no problem. As long as I got time, I usually can hop on and walk through something all the time. I do demos for the lasers also. So, but all right, I'm gonna head out. I got a few things I can wrap up before I go to bed. So have a good night, everybody. We are out. I've been off of free consulting.